Hi, welcome to Charter Oak Fiberworks. This is a podcast about knitting and spinning and all things fiber related here in New England, where I live with my family, who keeps walking out of their door. You can find me on Instagram, which is where I'm most active and where you'll get the most updates of what's going on in my life and what events I'm at and things like that. At Clarissa Jo Knits. You can also find me on Ravelry as Clarissa Jo. I'm not as active on Ravelry, although I do a project dump every couple of months where I go on and take all my Instagram photos and put them in with the right projects and everything. Show notes to be able to find all of the things I talk about, a link straight to them is on charteroakfiberworks.wordpress.com. I'm working to get that changed. We'll see if that happens. So thanks for joining me today. It has been a long time. And I've had kind of some technical difficulties with my phone where I didn't have enough space to edit the last couple that I did. And I was gonna try to play catch up on the last, hold on. I have to go get my daughter's polymer clay things out of the oven. Just a sec. Okay, I'm back. We have a little fairy garden outside and my daughter I have to stop touching the table. It wiggles the camera. It's not a very steady tripod. But I want to. Yee. Okay. We have a fairy garden outside and she takes polymer clay and she'll make little tables and food and furniture and fairy things. So she does that. I don't remember what I was talking about. Oh, I've been gone and I'm sorry. And I was gonna do a big catch up of everything that I've missed on here, but I've decided not to because that seemed very crippling to try to remember everything I've made in the past 3 months and trying to get it all together. So I'm just gonna start with what's happened in the last couple weeks. Today I am drinking some tea out of my octopus with a top hat mug. It's I don't remember what it's called. I'll put it down here. It is from my fiber share partner. So I participated in the giant fiber share package thing and it was really good. I got to know 2 new fiber friends. Both of them were in California and I got to send off a package and I got one and you will see a lot of that stuff in my next video where I'm going to talk about Tour de Fleece because she sent me spinning stuff because I participated in the spinning one and not the knitting one and I got some cool Tour de Fleece. Not specifically for that, but some cool stuff to spin. So I'm going to use it during Tour de Fleece and I'm going to do a video to show all of my stuff I'm going to spin during that time. Tour de Fleece starts in July. We're almost coming up on that. I'll talk about that more later when I get there. But it's so good, the tea. Okay, FOs. I have finished a couple of things. The first one is over here. Sorry, I don't know, I should show you, but I have all of my stuff spread out all over my table whenever I do this. I've been knitting at the pool, so I have them in plastic bags, but I've been making little pumpkin hats. Look at this. These are by Susan B. Anderson, and they're from her Itty Bitty Hats book. It's called Little Pumpkin, and I've made them on, this is just Knit Picks Brava Sport, and I have been stash busting basically for the last month or so. So I had all this orange yarn. See, these are 3. I've made 5 or 6. But I've been stash busting so that I can not feel guilty buying more yarn this winter. So I took all the orange acrylic yarn that I had and I made baby hats because I really have a strong belief that all babies should wear pumpkin hats in the fall. I sent one to my fiber share partner. Sorry, I'm feeling itchy. I sent one to my fiber share partner for her baby. She has a little, I don't know how little she is. She's young, she's an infant. I sent one to her. So yeah, those are my hats. I've made 5 of those. And I have enough, I think, to do one more like newborn or preemie hat. So all of my friends who are having babies are going to get hats. Babies should have pumpkin hats in the fall. That's all I'm saying. Okay, my next one has had kind of a rough life, and I will put up it's already had a rough life. I'll put up a picture of it done to show you. My next one is the Artesian shawl by Rosemary or Romi Hill. I made it out of my own hand spun yarn. It's Corriedale that I picked up at Webb's in a dark blue, and it went through the wash. So I'll just do it has these cool edges here that poke out that kind of look like, I think, like wingtips. There, and it goes. So it's a short row shawl. So you do short rows in here to have this kind of, this shape. Here, I think it goes this way. There we go. So I made it to go to a wedding with my partner who has this really nice dark blue suit. It's had a rough day. It's had a rough life, actually. And I finished it in time and I wore it to the wedding and it looked great. It came home. We were out with family in Utah and we were only there for 48 hours. So I just like took off my wedding stuff, threw it in our suitcase, came home, threw my suitcase down the stairs. I had things to do that day, so I went and did my stuff, and my partner is doing the wash, and he just like dumped the suitcase into the wash, and my shawl went in there with it, and I think I can block it back out so that it didn't felt very much. So I'm going to wash it and block it back out and hopefully fix the kind of shrinking, shriveled upness it has become. But I can't tell if it's felted or if it's just that it's a very lacy shawl that has a very specific shape, and I just need to lay it out again so that I can, so it can get its shape back. Okay, I have finished another pair of socks from my box of socks. I've actually finished 2 in the last month. The first one are the Mercury socks by Kim Drotar, D-R-O-T-A-R. It's on a Regia sock yarn, and I don't know anything else about it. I got it in a yarn swap at an event where we all kind of just put our yarn in a pile and you picked out what you wanted. So I don't know anything else about it, but I like how they've turned out. I didn't know if I would at the beginning up here. My partner loves them. So if I get an extra pair of socks done for my box of socks, maybe I'll gift these to him because he loves the color and the pattern and everything. But there's my 5th pair for box of socks. Box of Socks is a knit along by Kristy from Vine or Yarngasm podcast. It's a year-long knit along where you try to knit 12 pairs of socks in the year, and they have to be selfish. They have to be for you. They have to be adult socks, and you need to do 12 of them in the year. So I finished number 5. So 2, I'll even say 2 socks. So these socks have been quite an adventure. I worked on them on the airplane on our trip out for the, I worked on them on the trip out to the wedding on the airplane. And a couple days before we left on our trip, I had been carrying around my needles in my bag, and one of them broke. And I thought it was just because they were in my bag, and I'm not really too careful with my bags. And so I assumed that I had just broken it by like hitting my bag wrong or wedging it in somewhere, and it had just snapped one of my needles. Not a big deal. It was a set of 6 needles, so I just threw it out, and that was that. Well, the day before I was leaving on this trip, I was knitting with it, and I was doing one of the lace parts, and the needle snapped in my hand while I was knitting. I saved all of the stitches, got them back on one of the other one, set of 6, so now I'm down to 4 needles, and I thought, okay, I broke one because I was rough with it, and I broke another one because maybe it was a weak point or a weird one. It broke right along the like grain, so I was like, maybe it's a weak point, not a big deal. I still have 4 other needles. We're getting ready to leave to get on the airplane. We had to drive up to Boston to catch our flight. And I look at my metal needles, and I'm like, should I take my metal needles? I don't want to deal with them on the airplane. I've never been questioned about them. I've had a pair of scissors thrown away once. But I've never really been questioned about my knitting stuff, and so I'm not worried about that, but I have heard stories. So I was like, I'll just stick with my wood needles. It was a fluke, not a big deal. I'll just do that. So I took them on, and I knew that to adjust to the time, I needed to stay awake for the whole flight so that I could get there and fall asleep. So I'm working on them, and I'm down here along the foot edge now, working through, and I break another needle. What do you do when you're on a flight and you break a needle? You tape it back together with washi tape, obviously. So I taped my needle back together, and I finished my sock on that flight, and I started my next one. So I got them done. I saved all of the stitches. Everything worked out, and I'm working with the company that the needles were from. They're going to send me some replacement ones. It's not a big deal. They've been very nice. I keep sending them messages and telling them about my life, and they're very professional. So the lady's probably like, please don't email me anymore. Just let me send you the needles. So pair 5 Mercury socks on Regia. All right, you ready for pair 6? Can you imagine? I'm on the airplane and my sock needle breaks. While I'm doing lace, hello, total panic that I had on the airplane. What am I gonna do after that? It was a small freak out moment for me. I held it together. Okay, sorry. I have to put them, I've been knitting patterned socks lately and not vanilla socks. And they just don't look as good when I try to hold them up to show them. So I have to switch to get them on. I only have 1 pair of sock blockers. I don't really block my socks. I bought these for showing them off in pictures and on here. Okay, these ones, look how pretty they are. They look like this on your feet insides. I feel like I need to like frame myself with them. Okay, sorry. Anyway. These are Winter's Frost by This Handmade Life. Look, I'm holding it to the wrong, here's the camera. This Handmade Life, Winter's Frost. The picture that she does them in for the pattern is this beautiful soft blue, a little bit tonal-ish for the blue. So it was just very delicate, and I was a little bit worried about doing them on, this is Knit Picks Felici. Punch Bug is the colorway. I was a little bit worried about doing them on here because I thought it might be too garish for such a soft, like beautiful lace patterning here, but I love them. I think they turned out absolutely beautiful, awesome. They're kind of like in between that, right? They're beautiful, but the color is very like bright and fun, and I really love them. So it has an Eye of Partridge Hill down here. It's weird to turn it sideways to have you look, but you can't see anything. Eye of Partridge Hill. And then this lace repeat here, which was really easy to memorize and remember what I was doing and just get the hang of it and keep going. I adjusted the pattern a little bit because when I knit on the Knit Picks Felici, I don't like my socks to be so dense. I'd rather have the fabric a little bit looser, and I found that Knit Picks Felici really works well with my size 2 needles. So I knit them on a size 2, and the pattern calls for a size 1. So I just adjusted the pattern to my 52 stitch size 2 needle, which is what I used to make them. And then I just put this in the right spot and kept this the same. I didn't adjust it at all for a smaller sock. It's a 64 stitch sock, kind of a normal, but I wanted it to be on size 2s because I just like how the socks are better. So that is pair number 6. Should we do a quick recap of all of my socks for Box of Socks? Because I am halfway through and it is June. So I am exactly on track for finishing my box of socks. I don't know if I'll remember all of the patterns or all of the colorways, but we'll just do a quick recap of everything. In January, I made Hermione's Everyday Socks, and this is 100 Ravens yarn. Then I learned how to do my first toe-up socks with Susan B. Anderson on Craftsy. Craftsy has been really fun. I have a subscription to Craftsy and I use it all the time. So they're a toe-up sock. I used a sock blank for these, and they're done on size 1s, and they're too dense. They're too dense of a sock. I don't enjoy that, but that's okay. I'm now doing enough socks that I know how to adjust. Pair number 3 is just a vanilla sock in another Knit Picks Felici, which Knit Picks Felici just came out with their new ones. They are almost all sold out. I did not buy any yet because I was on a yarn diet when they came out, and then I did a shop hop thing, and July 20th they said they'll have more. I have it marked on my calendar. I have the colorways I want already picked out, so I'm just gonna go on and order what I want. But I love the striping on it. They are so stunning. This is, I can't pronounce the Dyer. I'm going to put it in the bottom though. Just a vanilla sock. Again, size 2 needle on these ones. Look at that green. It's like blowing out like crazy because it's so neon. I love it. I think it's called Sour Apple, the green. And then my last 2, the Mercury socks and Winter's Frost. So those are my 6 pairs of socks for Box of Socks. Halfway. Feels so good. to set a goal and then get it. Well, I haven't got it yet, but I'm on my way. Okay, that is all of my FOs. I'm going to talk about my whips now because I have a couple of those. That's for later. Okay, my whips. My first one is my Rhinebeck sweater, which is coming along way faster than I thought it would, way faster than I planned it out to be. It is being kept inside this Fiskars craft bag that my mom got me for Christmas a couple years, and it's kind of held like random scrappy things in it, but my sweater has outgrown all of my other bags. So it is now being held in here. And let me see if I can, I don't know if I'll be able to tell you all the yarn colors that I have, but I think the last time you saw it, it was sleeves. But now, it is a body and sleeves and the color work, and I have to be very careful. I was showing this to Annie, my good friend, Saturday, not yesterday. I was showing her on Saturday, and I pulled this out, like tugged it right to like lay it flat to show her, and I pulled my needles out. I saved it, everything's back on. I've knit 2 rows since then, and I kind of fixed everything. My color work is all correct. I saved it. But man, was I nervous because I did not know where I was going to rip back to if I needed to pull that out, and how to save it if I needed to. So, but it's good. And Andy reminded me again that I need to get those little needle stopper things. I'm going to go buy some, actually. So hopefully this doesn't jinx me. Knock on wood here. I am so shiny from the light. It's because my camera keeps adjusting. Every time I say, I don't need those little stopper things, that never happens to me. It does. It happens to me. So I'm going to go get some because this project needs some, and I'm getting nervous about that I pulled it. I didn't pull it out even once. I put them all back on, and then I did it again to like straighten it out after you bunch up all your things, and pulled it out again. What was I thinking? No, I just don't learn. Anyway, I am buying those little tips to go on my needles. I'm gonna get that. Okay, let's talk about my sweater here. So this is the North Shore by Tin Can Knits, and I love it. It is, let's see, I can show you a picture of the finished one. It has trees and mountains and ocean, and I love it. I just can't get enough of trees in my color work. I love them. Okay, so my main color is this. And I am so, that is not my main color. I'm so surprised that it didn't come out. I striped every other row with things, and then I did the sleeves. I didn't do every other row because I just learned about that from the girls in the Yarn Cafe. She was talking about how she swaps every row so there aren't holes, and I didn't on the sleeves. I did like every 2 or 3, and look, you can see that they're a little bit stripy. But I think that just makes it look like a thing because I think I bought 5 balls, so I have quite a bit left over here. But I had 3 that look like this, 1 that looked like this, and this camera's not even gonna show how, and 1 that looked like this. So I had like 3 in the middle, 1 that was really light, and 1 that was really dark. So I had to do some striping to make sure that it all worked out. But I wanted this color, and so I was like, I'll figure it out. I'll just figure it out. So yeah, that's how much I have left at the moment. I wonder if this color will work with the new yarn I bought on Friday. I'm gonna keep one of these out so I can see if it does. Okay, This is by the Kangaroo Dyer. It's called Niagara. It's a Kangaroo Dyer on Superwash DK. I picked it up at Webb's in April, I think is when we went. And I've been ahead of schedule. So the idea for me was that I was gonna do a sleeve in April, a sleeve in May, the body in June and July, the color work in August, and that will give me September and part of October to rush through the rest of the sweater when I decide that I can't do it fast enough or that I'm behind. It would have given me like 6 weeks to catch up. So I am way ahead of schedule, and I think I'll have the sweater done in the next like 2 weeks, maybe faster, depending on the stuff I'm gonna cast on next, which I have stuff to cast on next. Okay, I'm not gonna pull out and tell you all the colors of the yoke. I believe that I did that in a past episode. So if you wanna know the colors, go back and look, but I'll just do a quick. This is my white. It's kind of a light sand color instead. This is the darker blue that becomes waves in the thing. And then the brown for the mountains, and this bright green for the trees. Those 4 are my color work. So I think my sweater would fit in one of my other bags, but right now I am carrying around all the colors in my bag all together to keep it, look, very carefully putting my sweater back in. But there it is. Do you see there are the waves down there. I don't think there's enough contrast between these two, but I think that's okay. I'm okay with that. And then up here into my mountains and my trees. So it's coming along nice. I'm having a hard time. I've never made a bottom-up sweater. This is my first one. And I thought I would enjoy it because it would get all of the boring knitting out of the way and kind of keep me motivated to get to the color work and the exciting part. But it's a lot of weight to hold on my hands while I'm doing color work. I think I would have preferred it top down just so I would have had less stuff to manage. Because if I'm managing the 2 yarns and I'm kind of trying to concentrate on what I'm doing, right, I throw with one hand and pick with the other for my 2 colors when I hold it. And then I've got this huge sweater on my lap, and so it hangs there, and I have to I keep twisting, right, as you knit, whoop, the other way. I twist as I knit, right, and I have to hold it up, and it goes, woo, and swings around, and then I put it down and keep going, and then hold it up and swing it around. It's just a lot of weight, and maybe I'm more complaining about that because I'm knitting in June, but I think I would have liked the top down better so that I wouldn't have to deal with all of that at the same time. Okay, the next one, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to pronounce this. It is the Balvraid Hap, and it's designed by Rita Taylor. And it was printed by Blacker Yarns. Let me see if I can get a picture of it. It was a free pattern. I needed a white shawl. Sorry. I needed a white shawl to for something. For my church stuff. And so I wanted to make something, I don't know, interesting, significant to me, different than I've ever made before. So I decided a hap would be fun because I've never made one and I wanted to do it, and I liked that haps are very English. And that's where a lot of my family is from, England and Wales. And so I wanted to make a hat, and I have I hand spun on my wheel this white. It is 100% Shetland that I picked up at Webb's, and it's in a fingering weight. And I am still working on my garter triangle for the hap. But once I'm done with that, then I'll pick up all of these little loops along the edge here. I'll pick all those up, and then I'll knit all the way around and all the way back to do the lace patterning, and then it has a garter stitch, plied edging on the end. So it has multiple things I've never done before, which is nice. Right now it's kind of mindless, and I'm hoping that I have to, I'm going to have to look some things up, which is nice for me. So there it is, and you can see a little bit, oh, maybe you can't see. I can see with the light coming through that there's a difference in weight between this one and this one, where I've joined a new ball. But I'm okay with that. It's hand spun, and it'll mean a lot to me when I'm done. So I am working on getting that done, and I want to get that done soon. I'm like at the end of these two big projects. Well, I'm not at the end of this one, but I'm at the end of the boring part. And then I'll start the lace stuff, which will be really fun for maybe the first 10 rows, and then I'll get frustrated. But that is being held in my Erin Lane bag. Look at, and my pins on here that I just love are, it's a Nevertheless She Knitted pin, the Woolly Thistle. This one says books turn muggles into wizards, and this is the Dominator from Kristy Glass. There are my pins on there. Okay. That's all I'm working on right now. I'm about to cast on my next socks because I need my July socks. So I am making the Woodland Walk socks by this Handmade Life. It's another one. I loved her other one so much that I was like, I want to make more by her. So look at this beautiful leaf on there. And I thought, I have the perfect yarn for these socks. So here's my yarn. It is Once Upon a Corgi, La Dame Death, on her Ginger Superwash Merino Nylon Gold Stellina base. Look, can you, I'm blowing out the thing, but can you see the sparkle on there? Probably not. No, I'm blowing out too much. Oh, there's some sparkle in there. Sparkle, and then look how well this brown matches. And this brown was just in my stash hanging out. I've used it on another pair of socks. So I'm excited. I think this will be the perfect one. I'm trying to decide if I'll make them on size 2s again. I don't know, because it's a 24 stitch patterning across. And if I do my normal 52 stitches, then it would just go across the top of my foot, and I don't want that. So I'm gonna cast on, I'm gonna use the size 1s and make it like the pattern says. But that's my July sock pattern, and it needs to be started soon because I think we're going camping, and I need something to take with me that is small and can just hang out with me. New things. So there is that. Oh, okay. I'm going to share some of my stash and Handspun in just a second. But first, our library is yarn bombing the library. The teens are. They have such a cool theme this year. It's like a service, kindness, one good deed makes another good deed or something, like the pass it forward type of stuff. And so one of the weeks is they're doing a craftivism program where every week they're gonna do kind of a good deed or a community oriented thing for their craft. And they are yarn bombing the library. And I've just been taking my stash and just crocheting up like these scarves, basically so that they can wrap them around things, tree branches, handles, stuff like that, and sew them on to yarn bomb the library. So that's taken up not a lot of time, but I've been trying to just get through one of those a day, and so they have plenty of stuff to choose from. But I have a bright green that I am going to, a bright green acrylic that I have in my stash that I'm going to knit. They have one of those bike racks that do the, like this. And I'm going to make a green snake to go on that because I think that's so cute. So today I'm working on a yellow one, and I'm gonna give it a little purple edging just to give it a little bit. I have just a little bit of purple. So that is another thing I'm working on that's coming up. Okay, I went and did the I91 Shop Hop here in New England. It goes from Putney, Vermont, all the way down to Branford, Connecticut. So we started, I live in central Connecticut, and so I live kind of like smack dab in the middle of the whole, in the middle of I91. So I started with some friends, and we started Friday morning early, and we drove all the way up to Putney, Vermont, and then we worked backwards all the way down until we got home. And then that night we just stayed in our bed, stayed at home, did our normal night stuff, and then Saturday morning we got up early again and went all the way down to, we started in New Haven. New Haven and Branford are only 15 minutes apart. So we started in New Haven because we heard the parking was weird at that store, or hard to do, so we wanted to get there early and get a good like spot to park, and then we could backtrack to Branford and then head back up. So we went down, started there, and then worked our way back up until we got home. So much fun. When you signed up, you get a little, got a little I91 Shop Hop bag. So for each shop, when you went to visit it, you would get a stamp and a door prize ticket, and a free pattern that they designed at their store that was just for the Shop Hop. So let me show you some of the things that I got. And I'm not going to be able to remember where all of them are from. I did like a quick video about all the places I went to and all of that on, sorry, I'm distracted for a second. On Instagram of all the stuff that I got where and everything like that. So all my stuff is all tangled in here, but let me, oh yeah, okay, ready? I found a Ply magazine, a planning one, which I think I need in my life to figure out how I'm going to spin a yarn to make it into the project that I want. Oh, building a fiber nook. What? Anyway, so excited to read through this. I got a Ply magazine for down breed ones because my father-in-law has Shetland sheep, not Shetland sheep, I'm sorry. They have black faces. I'll put it down here. I don't remember what type of sheep they are. So, but they're a down breed. And I had so much fun reading through it. I read it cover to cover twice. Cover to cover. I don't do that with magazines. I just get in and read the things I want and then move on, but cover to cover twice. So to get another one, I'm sure I'm gonna read this cover to cover also. Oh my gosh, everything in here just makes me so excited. Okay, sorry. It's good. When I learn some things from it, I'll tell you what I've learned. Maybe you'll see some of this stuff in my projects. Hi, magazine. Awesome. Let's see. I found this Harry Potter Knits magazine. The unofficial Harry Potter Knits from 2013 at the Yarn Barn. They have a lot of old magazines there. So, oh, I'm glad that I could find like a treasure in that. But what grabbed me is, look at the sweater on the cover. Yeah, I'm gonna need that sweater. And I don't usually buy books or magazines. I have the library system I can get a lot from. But I was looking through here and look, I've already tagged it up. These are all the patterns I want to make out of it. That is a magazine worth buying. Let me show you some of them so you can enjoy the goodness too. Okay, this vest. I'm hoping the glare will make it so you can't see any of the instructions. So that vest, oh, there's the sweater. Look at these mitts. Look at these fingerless mitts. What? I don't even know how or where or why I would wear those, but I want them. Oh, and these owl mittens. So look, they're the owl there. On the inside, is there a photo that will show you the inside? Okay, we're gonna do this very tricky here down. Oh, no, it won't let me do it that way. Okay, we'll kind of, on the inside of them, they say like magic spell words or Harry Potter words. So they say things like Leviosa, Protego, Fumos, Lumos, Stupefy, Expelliarmus, Expecto Patronum, like, seriously, so good. I have one more in here tagged. What is that? Oh, some socks that I like, of course. So I am so excited to knit through some of the patterns in this book. Hidden treasure in this place. Among all the magazines. I was kind of over there like looking through them and I was like, old magazines. Not my cup of tea, but Harry Potter. Had to do it. I have to keep an eye on my garden. I have a chipmunk problem that I may have contributed to. We have like a bird feeder and it's one that you fill up like a jar, right? You fill up a jar and then you put the lid on and then you flip it upside down and it comes out the bottom. So the bird food that I got for it is a little bit too big to come out of the slits easily, so sometimes it gets stuck. So I was trying to like fix it, and I was like, I'll just take the lid off or I'll just like hold it and like fiddle with it a little bit, and I was fiddling with it, and it came off, right? So of course my reaction is to like put my hand on the bottom of it, but that doesn't stop anything, and it wasn't until it was halfway empty that all of a sudden I flipped it over and was like, duh, just turn it over. Anyway, so then I had half a bird feeder's worth of food on the ground and right in my raspberries, and the chipmunks come and they eat my raspberries and they eat my strawberries, and dang chipmunks. if I had a bigger garden, I wouldn't keep my bird feeder in my raspberry bushes either. What can you do? You have to work with what you've got. Okay, I've talked about my 2 books. Look at this pen I got. Talk about some notions here. So there were like some beautiful enamel pins in one of the shops. Sheep and Shawl, I think. Maybe if I pulled out my paper, I could like say the names of some of these shops and remember what they were. Yeah, Sheep and Shawl. Yeah, Sheep and Shawl had a lot of beautiful enamel pins, but he was so cute and so Suffolk. That's the sheep that my father-in-law has. He has Suffolk sheep. This is a Suffolk. I don't know if it is, but it has the black face and the white body, which is why I liked it. And there were some like, I don't know, like I said, beautiful ones, but I really liked how like, he's just cute, and I like that he has real yarn wrapped around him, so he's fluffy, and he's gonna go on one of my bags and hang out forever as my sheep. And I'm going to name her. It's a her. It's a you. I don't know. I have to think about it. I'm terrible about naming things. I haven't named my spinning wheel yet either. Oh, spinning. I didn't talk about spinning. I'll come back to that. Okay, so I got that pen. While we were in Brattleboro, we found a cute little store, and we just bought a bookstore too. I was with Annie, who's also a librarian, and it's a bookstore. We had to stop at a bookstore. I've said a lot. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Okay. I got the temporary tattoos from Madder Root. Green Mountain Spinnery had them. Did you see me catch myself there to say Green Mountain Spinnery had them, and I wanted them. I've seen them at a lot of things. Sorry, I'm gonna stop that. I've seen them at a lot of fiber festival things or other stuff, and I have been jealous of them. So there are sheep, a yarn ball, a knitted heart, slip, slip, knit, and knit 2 together, and some stitch markers. How cute. All right, they're going back in their little bag so that I can wear them to my next fibery event. Those were up in Green Mountain Spinnery. At Margie's Yarn, I got a stitch marker that she designed. It's not going to focus for you, is it? No, it doesn't want to at all. Okay, it's a little sheep. And a giant button. She had a bucket of buttons, and we had been talking about this. Lena had been talking about it the most, about how good it feels to like just dig your hands into a bucket of buttons or a grain and have that like experience. And then we went to Margie's, and she had a bucket of buttons, and I just like put my hand in it, and it felt so good. But here is my button that I got. It's just a big, it's greenish, I guess, but greenish, bluish, blackish, grayish. That color, it's that color. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it. Can I put it on a hat? I don't know. It's just gonna go into my box of buttons now. And then she was handing out these little tags to go on things at her store, which was so sweet that she included that. She also had her Her pattern that she gave out is beautiful. It's this, it's a scarf, so it's not very wide. It might look wider here, but it's 6-8 inches wide. It's a scarf that fades from a like variegated to a solid to a variegated to another variegated to a solid back to the right. And then there's little tassels on each end. A little eyelet rose in the middle. And I was looking through it and I was like, I have all the yarn for that in my stash. I know I do. So I came home and I weighed out all my yarn to be able to see if I have it in stash. This has something to do with the next store we stocked at, so don't worry about it. So I have this and this, right? So solid to variegated to variegated to solid. And this is what I picked up at Knit New Haven. And there was the cutest girl there working, young woman. And she sat with me and she helped me pick out my colors. But I think it's gonna work. And I think when I finish my shawl, this is gonna go on next. So Knit New Haven sat with me, so sweet. They're doing a Once Upon a Corgi trunk show there while we were there. And I didn't pick up anything because I already have Once Upon a Corgi yarn and I have some Once Upon a Corgi comb top. So I'm like, I'm good. I need to use what I have, but I love Once Upon a Corgi's yarn, so that was too bad. I didn't. Okay. This is Wonderland Yarns. It's on her Mad Hatter base, which is a sport weight, 100% superwash merino, and it's called Only Lime Will Tell. So, I don't... It's close. It's close, but I don't think it's gonna work. I don't know what I'm gonna do with this. I just loved it. It was one of those, it was this, what I bought on there that was total splurge, just liked it, so I got it, and look at those speckles on there. Anyway, I love it. I picked it up at Hand Knits in Brattleboro, which is such a cute town. They were a cute town. Oh, and with my little sheet pin, they also gave out a little stitch marker for their 5 years celebration. So, there's that. We stopped at Webb's because it was part of the Shop Hop, and I can't get enough of Webb's. So I bought these, and then I have a cream to go with it. I don't know where I don't want to go get it right now. But I have a cream that goes with it, and I'm going to make some colorwork socks out of this that are Fox colorwork socks. Anyway, they were on my to-do list. They're my September socks for box of socks. Just those. I'm trying to get myself ahead on that, so I'm hoping my July ones will only take half of July because I'm going to start them this week. And then my August ones will be done by August to maybe give myself a little bit more time to do the colorwork socks here, because I think they'll take me longer than my other ones. And then I picked up this Frab Juice Fibers merino comb top in mustard because I need more mustard in my life, obviously. So I can put this, you know, and then go hide in my chairs and no one will be able to find me. So I wanted to make a mustard shawl because I wear a lot of maroon, and I thought the mustard would look good with the maroon. And I'm holding it up to me like you'll be able to see that the mustard will go well, but it's just blending into my body. I liked it up here better though. Anyway, that's all I got from the Shop Hop. And now that I've showed you, I can put it all away so it's not just sitting on my mustard colored chairs over there. Go figure. Oh man, that was not wise. I've got fiber everywhere. Okay. I'll talk about my spin I've got going on right now. Trying to decide if I should get it off my wheel before Tour de Fleece happens. Okay, let's see if this will work here. I have just brought my wheel to you. So, oh, that'll work right there. Okay, it is Malabrigo Noob on Baya Electra. And I have a hard time. I have a love-hate relationship with Malabrigo Noob. Nuba, Newbie, N-U-B-E. I don't know how to say it. I have a love-hate relationship with them. So when I get it, it is so felted that I have to pre-draft it like crazy to get it to work. But this one wasn't so bad. But it's the soft, it's so soft. It's so soft that my kids, well, my daughter will wear anything made out of wool, but my son is picky and he'll wear this wool because it's just that fine. And so I spun it into these tiny singles here. Look, isn't this color fun? I thought maybe mittens for my daughter would be fun to make out of it, like colorwork mittens. So I spun up these fine singles. And then I am chain plying it so that my color will stay together and not get barber pulling. I don't really like the look of barber pulling. I don't think it's bad. It's just not what I gravitate to in knitting. So I'm chain plying it to keep my colors together, and it's staying really thin. I didn't think I'd spun it that fine because I've never been able to spin noob that fine. So I was thinking mittens, they'd have to be finger weight mittens for her. I was thinking it would be fun to do color work where I get like maybe there's a little bit of purple in there, or maybe a silver. Oh. If I get like a gray and then I do the main color as gray and then the contrasting pattern with that variegated purple and pink, that would be so fun. Oh, I like that idea. I'd have to find a good pattern for that. I'd make my own. I don't know yet. We'll see what's gonna happen there. We'll see what happens. I'm excited. I could make my own pattern of that, and that would be really fun. And then I could get them to be what I wanted, and maybe something she really likes. That would be fun. Okay. Spinning, shop hop, knit-alongs that I'm participating in. Right now I'm doing Stash Dash with the Knit Girls. I have chosen to do a 5K. I think I'll be fine. I think I'll get that no problem. I'm already at 1,164 meters. That's not including my sweater or my shawl. So when they're done, I'm planning to cast on that scarf. The crocheting I'm gonna count. The spinning I'm gonna count. I'm doing Tour de Fleece, so I'm gonna count all of my Tour de Fleece stuff. So I think I'll be fine. I'll get to 5,000 just fine. Then Tour de Fleece is happening in July. So I've got to get that chain plied up, and you saw how much was still on the bobbin. I squeezed all 4 ounces onto one bobbin. Usually I'm like at 2 or 3 ounces per bobbin, but I squeezed all 4 in there, and granted it was getting close where my flyer was getting really close to my fiber, and they were like the bumps that come up off of the bobbin, right? We were at that point where I was like, come on, I can just get a little bit more out of this. And I was trying to keep it fine because I kind of psyched myself out, and I'm like, nope, just feed it through and get it out so it can finish. But I did it. What would that be called? Spinning chicken? where you play like yarn chicken, fiber chicken, comb top chicken. That's what I was doing with my bobbin. But I fit it all on there. I don't know if it'll all fit on the second one, but how awesome would it be if it did? Because then I would have an unbroken yarn for those whole 4 ounces. That would be excellent. I can see why people buy jumbo flyers and jumbo bobbins. I get that. I get that now that I've like done that. Normally I split it and I just am fine with attaching it, but it's kind of fun to be like, I have 100% unbroken yarn going on. I like that. So those are my current knit-alongs, and that is what is going on right now. I'm going to make a tour de fleece video to show my goal off so that you guys can keep me honest on that so that I'll actually finish things. And I will talk to you all later. Bye. Hey, it's me and Annie here. Annie is always my always up for my Yarny Adventures to go with me. And we have driven all the way up to Putney, Vermont, and we are at Green Mountain Spinnery. And it is awesome. I love Green. So it's our first stop of the I91 Shop Hop, and we just arrived at Green Mountain Spinnery. Let's go in and see what they have. Brattleboro is so cute. We are going to Hand Knits. This cute little shop.
Every once in a while,
Hey.
come through
Good morning.
and shop tires, and then come back like 3 hours later.
We're taking a small detour to Everyone's Books because we are librarians, so we can't just walk by a bookstore. Hey, here in Northampton Wools, and I've never been here before, even though it's pretty close to me, so I'm excited to go check it out. I'll tell you what I find. All right, we're walking into Webb's now.
Okay.
Second stop from the end of the day for our day today. Last stop of today, we're at Margie's Yarn Crafts in Granby, Connecticut. And then we'll pick up again tomorrow, but today's our last, this is our last stop today. It's a cute little store. I think it's run in her house. Let's see how cute it is. I love this color.
I know you do.
If I had anything to knit in bulky yarn in my queue.
Wow, that
I
hat
love
is so
this
pretty.
hat.
Okay, I'm done with the shopping for today.
We've just finished our last stop today. I'm with Lynna, who got the perfect color and cal, and Annie, who spent way more than she thought she would. And it has been a good day.
What?
What did you do today?
We did some damage.
We're at our first stop of the day. We're at Knit New Haven in New Haven, Connecticut. It is right there. It's a really cute little store. We're gonna go in and see what's in there. Well, the thing says that they have paper. Look at the yarn bombing on here.
Oh, this is so cool.
They've yarn bombed the whole section here. It's so cool.
Oh, I was like, wow, how did you know so quickly what you need?
All right, next stop is the Yarn Basket in Brantford. There it is. And here's Annie. Hi, Annie. All right, let's head in. Annie, that's your style.
I like that.
Is it crochet? No, it's knitted in circles.
I think so.
Hohi, is it a hohi?
A what?
Hohi look color?
No,
No. Jojo land.
it's melody. Yeah.
Huh. It's pretty.
Self-striped.
We're at the Yarn Barn in Woodbury or Woodbridge. Where's the Yarn Barn? It's there, so we're about to head in. All right, we're headed to our last store. Right, Annie? Are we done? Are we tired?
Almost done.
Almost
Not
done,
tired
right?
yet, but almost
Almost done.
All right, last stop of the day. We're at Village Wool in Glastonbury. Look at their cute sheep over here. He's cute. We finished all the shops.
We did it.
All right, we finished our last stop.
I'm smiling like it's a picture.
It's not a picture, we're videoing. All right, what was your favorite store that we went to?
Oh, no.
We went to
Margie's.
11 stores.
I like Margie's.
Margie's was your favorite? All right, so Margie's was all three of our favorites.
Yeah.
We love Margie's. That's so nice. It's close to us.
Yeah, I know.
That we had to go all up and down I-91 to find our favorite shop, right?
Yes.
All right,
Good job.
we're all done.